Okay, so I have another story time video for you guys. Again, I want to apologize for the way I look. I am sick and I had no energy today to do my makeup and everything. But this story time video gets a little more interesting. So, a while ago, I got a message on a dating site. And to make the story a little bit shorter, basically it was from this guy who had dated a friend of mine in the past. And he was now interested in talking to me, which is okay, that's fine. Him and my friend didn't date very long, so I was like, you know, it's cool, whatever. So, me and him have been talking for months now. And, you know, we really, really developed, like, a relationship. Like, we really started to like each other. I told him exactly what I was looking for, and, you know, he told me what he was looking for. But he also told me, like, you know, I don't know when I'm ready for a relationship. And I'm like, that's fine, like, that's cool. So, fast forward a few months, one night, I ended up going to his work and seeing him at, like, 2 a.m. when he was on break. And it was cool. I was happy to see him. We were very flirtatious with each other. Like, it was awesome. So, still from there on, we continued to talk. And we were both very in like with each other. It was great. Our talking became a little bit less because our work schedules were completely different. I worked during the day. He worked overnight. So, our talking was kind of hard. So, about a week ago, he texted, or no, this was probably, about a week ago, okay. He texted me, and he's like, so I have something to tell you. And I'm like, okay. Now, well, let me mention, we had a conversation probably a month ago about where we are with each other, and I told him, like, you know, I'll wait for you if you can promise me that I'm not going to be waiting for nothing. And he's like, no, I promise you're not waiting for nothing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Because I really did like this guy. So, a week ago, he told me, you know, I have something to tell you, and you're not going to be happy. And I'm like, okay. Now, at this point, we hadn't talked. Our talking had been, like, on and off. Just because of our work schedules and God knows what else. So, he's like, I have a girlfriend. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, congratulations. Like, what am I going to do? Be pissed? Like, you weren't dating me, so congratulations. And he's like, why do you say that? And I'm like, well, because, you know, I'd rather you be happy than miserable. And he's like, but I have a problem. He's like, I don't want to be with her. He's like, me and her both just using each other. We'll call her Samantha, because I don't actually know her name. So, if her name's Samantha, I don't know, but we'll call her Samantha. Oh, and by the way, we're going to call him Bobby. I don't know if I mentioned that or not yet. So Bobby's like, you know, I like you. He's like, I want to be with you. And I'm like, well, then why are you with her if you're not happy? Like, and he's like, well, we're both basically using each other. And I'm like, well, if that's what you guys want to do, then more power to you. I'm like, but you know where I stand. Like, I want a relationship. Like, I'm not looking to hook up with anybody. I don't want to have sex before I'm in a relationship with someone. I'm like, he's like, well, she doesn't, you know, satisfy me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you know, if you're looking for a quick lay, like, go look for someone else then. And he's like, but I'm not. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but you're the one I think about. And I'm like, okay, well then, you know, take the steps that it takes to get me then. And he's like, I have. And I'm like, no, you really haven't. You have not shown me any of that yet. And I'm like, and you being with a girl definitely has not shown me anything. So, his last word to me, I think, was fine. That was the last text I got from him, and that was like 2 days ago. So then, I guess, Yeah, yesterday. No, yeah, yesterday. Okay. I'm reading text off my computer. So yesterday I get a text from this number that I don't know. Now, some people have my number and I don't have their number saved, so I didn't know who it was. So the text I got was, "Hi, I came across this number in my phone. I came across this number. May I ask who it is?" I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I don't have you on my phone." I'm like, "This is Lauren." The person's like, "Okay, I found this number in my boyfriend's phone." She's like, "How do you know him?" I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Okay, good deal. Who is your boyfriend?" She's like, "Trey, or Bobby." Yep, yeah, that helps. And I'm like, "Cool. He's an old friend of a friend, but I don't believe you have any reason to have my number. So if it's cool, I'm going to go." So by now I realize this is Samantha talking about Bobby, and she's like, she obviously stole my number out of his phone, which is kind of interesting. So she's like, have you ever dated or hooked up with him?" I'm like, "That is none of your business to know anything about me, so thanks." She's like, "If you're messing with my boyfriend, it kind of is. I'm not trying to fight with you. I just want to know the truth." Which obviously she is trying to fight with me. And she's trying to be, nosy AF. Like, okay. Obviously you don't trust your boyfriend. So my next text isn't the nicest, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to send her afterwards. I'm like, "I don't know who you think you're talking to, sweetie, but I highly suggest you backing off. Want to know the truth? Ask him. Don't believe him? Maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship with him. I'm not a dirty side chick. I'm sure as hell not going to do some chick's man, but you honestly have the nerve taking my phone number, texting me to ask me, and that proves right there you have no faith in your relationship." Because obviously, like, why not confront him about it first? Like, because obviously if you wouldn't have gotten my number out of his phone. So then the last text I got from her was, "You're right, I don't, ... because you're not the only one. But thanks for your time anyway." Like, okay, so clearly she found other numbers in his phone. And so obviously he's like texting me. But here's the only thing that I'm confused about. And let me see if you guys agree with this. If she would have taken my number out of his phone from, like, anything, she would have had access to the text messages that me and him had with each other. So she would have seen, like, him texting me, telling me he wants me, and all that other stuff, which makes no sense to me at all. So she would have already known. So I don't know. So Bobby's basically done. Like, I really, really, really was into this kid, but that kind of shadiness I'm not about. He seemed like a nice kid, but I think he has a lot more on his plate than he needs. And I don't really want to be a part of that. That's not something I'm about. And I don't do the whole, like, ex-girlfriend drama stuff. I don't need people having my number and texting me all the time. I immediately, like, blocked her number, blocked his number, because I'm just like, done. Done, done, done. Like, I don't need this. But let me know what you guys think about this one. Leave it in the comments below. And let me know if you have any interest in stories with any guys. Or girls, for that matter. Because I'm sure there's the interesting stories out there. But make sure you like and subscribe. And check out my other social media networks. They'll be in the description below. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.